Watermelons are a pretty juicy 4th of July treat. But if you thought all of them were the same, you'd be wrong. Few, if any, can beat the variety our Martha Teichner has been sampling.
Don't tell Nat Bradford
Oh, that's beautiful.
that a watermelon
That's a nice one.
is just a watermelon. Not only is the Bradford watermelon
Cheers.
Cheers.
about the sweetest,
Really, really sweet.
juiciest watermelon you've probably never heard of,
Drippy
let alone eaten,
and very juicy.
Ooh, that looks good.
its backstory is pretty juicy too. In the sandy soil of Sumter County, South Carolina, where generations of Bradfords have been harvesting these 30 to 40 pound babies for something like 170 years.
I came across this book from 1865, and I'm reading that there's these ancestral melons that are the most sought after melons, and I go down this list, and Bradford's one of them.
Until then, Nat had no idea that the Bradford watermelon was so sought after that it was famous once, its seeds in high demand, and that organized gangs set out to steal them.
You had people with guns standing out by watermelon patches.
According to the TV series, The Mind of a Chef, farmers poison certain melons.
And it was not at all unusual to read newspaper stories of entire families being poisoned by a watermelon that they had themselves poisoned.
And there's another hazard.
You always want to roll them back and take a look.
Black widow spiders love hiding under nice warm melons in the field. Dangerous spiders aside, the reason you can't buy a Bradford watermelon at your local supermarket is that unlike its commercial cousins, it's got a thin skin, which means it doesn't travel well.
Careful.
So it was forgotten
There you go.
and was thought to be extinct.
I grew them as a kid. I might sell 100 watermelons a year and, make $500 off of it.
Rediscovering their history convinced Nat in 2012 to give up his landscape architecture practice, move back to the family home, and grow watermelons for a living.
I have this tremendous family gift. Can you handle it? What am I going to do with it?
His first decision? To let nature help him grow his watermelons without using pesticides or irrigation.
We'll save about the top 5% of the crop for seed melons.
The most perfect ones that were sturdy enough genetically to thrive whatever the summer's weather conditions.
How many seeds in a melon?
These are about 400 to 450
Per melon.
per melon.
For Nat Bradford, growing watermelons is about literally growing water, a life-growing miracle, which is why he helped to found a charity in parched East Africa called Watermelons for Water.
The watermelons can take contaminated water that we can't drink, and it'll biofilter it naturally through the root system, through the plant, and store it in these beautiful green 4.5 gallons of juice in a 40-pound fruit. That's tremendous.
Last summer, with the help of his 5 kids,
That's a nice one.
Nat harvested about 2,500 heirloom Bradford melons. Some he saved for seeds, some he sold for eating at $20 each. The rest he turned into pickles from his grandmother's recipe, watermelon brandy, and watermelon molasses.
It tastes a little like Guinness.
It does.
Nat's wife, Betty, has begun making, believe it or not, watermelon beer.
Is there anything in this family that isn't made out of watermelon?
There have been Bradfords in this part of South Carolina since before the Revolutionary War.
This is the house that I grew up in, and the land that's around us is something that I'm attached to. When I grew up, we knew everybody around us, and there was that sense of community. I want to make sure that that gets passed down as well as the watermelon.
In Nat Bradford's mind, The one breeds the other.